Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Buckley II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame's Greetings.
Oh, okay.
My new name, Sesame's Greetings. Not as good as Sesame and Carta, but I had to change it again. So
Okay.
for now, it's Sesame's Greetings. It's kind of hard to say, but
Yeah. Did you legally change it?
no, not this time. I mean, it's just like for today. And then I'm gonna go back to Sesame and Carta. Probably actually even after we get done. Actually, technically. So really, it's only Sesame Greeting for like 2 hours, basically. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So, yeah. 'Tis the season to, go elving. And, eat your pet chicken. And, or not eat it, cook your pet chicken.
Yeah. Interesting film.
Yeah. Yeah, today we are covering the 2016 film The Christmas Project. Directed by Michael Buster. Written by Sally Meyer. Based on the novels Chicken in the Headlights and Bullies in the Headlights by Matthew Buckley, which is also the name of the main character, played by Jacob Buster, who I'm assuming is probably the son of the director.
Oh. I mean, yeah, we could assume. I would say so.
I don't know for sure because I can't find that info anywhere, but they have the same last name, so I'm assuming they're related in some way.
It's not really a common name, and it would be weird if the two Busters showed up in the same movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever,
These are both people, and a lot of people in this cast, were involved with the remake of there's a filmed kind of stage production from the 80s of this musical called Saturday's Warrior, which an ex of mine who grew up Mormon absolutely loved. Not necessarily because it was good, but because it was cheesy as hell. And they did a remake of it a few years back, and a lot of the same people involved in this film were also involved in that.
Okay.
Which leads me to the conclusion that this is a Mormon-based film.
Is it? Because I know I said Covenant Films or something. I didn't really look into it, but it sounded like some kind of I'm kind of surprised because the film didn't really
It's not overtly.
It didn't really feel very religious to me, but
I'm just assuming the people involved with it probably Mormon. Doesn't necessarily much like Saturday's Warrior. It's not like something that was sanctioned by the LDS Church or something. Yeah, it
wasn't actually made by them or whatever.
Yeah,
I get that.
It was just made by people that belonged to the religion.
It's a weird movie, though. It was.
Yeah, it's.
We'll talk about.
What's your initial reaction here?
If I give it I don't know, maybe 5 out of 10, maybe. I don't know. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't. Just kind of boring. It was kind of too long, really, to kind of stretch it out. They could have made it, I don't know, maybe an hour and 15 minutes instead of an hour and a half. Or
an hour, or make it a half-hour sitcom.
Or it could have been that. I mean, it could have been a short film, like a 50-minute
Yeah.
45 minute, something like that. Yeah. It was, they made it the length of like a regular movie, but it really didn't need to
Yeah.
be that long. It was just kind of, I don't know. It had potential. It just kind of, it didn't have, the it factor for me. It was just
Yeah. I
something
mean,
was
it
missing.
for me. I mean, I would give it probably like maybe a 5 out of 10 as well. Um,
Mm.
but it's kind of like it's like it wants to be a Christmas story, but it's not. And
Yeah,
I don't even really like that film. So,
yeah, I mean, me neither. It's I don't know, whatever.
but I would watch that or even a Christmas Story 2
Oh God,
again before I'd watch this again.
that one actually wasn't too. And then the new Christmas story is not too bad
Yeah,
either.
a Christmas Story Christmas is actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
Um, that just came out this year.
Mhm.
Um, so anyways, this is like supposedly based like and it's kind of similar to the idea of a Christmas story where you have narration. In this case, I think way too much narration from time to time.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, like they're narrating things they don't need to narrate. Like we see it on the screen. You don't really have to tell us what's going on. But
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like when you have to explain what's going on, like or your emotion,
Mhm.
like sad. It's like, do you have to say the word sad? Like you couldn't just,
Oh, I do that all the time. Anytime I'm walking up to somebody, I'll be like, "Hi, my name's Mike. Happy." Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
No, what?
See, that's how you express emotions. You just say
Yeah.
the word, and then, and then you just
Hmm.
walk away or whatever.
I walk into an amusement park. I'm like, "I'm Mike, excited." Wait, what?
Wait, so you're saying your name is Mike Excited?
Yes.
Yeah, it's my last name, Mike Excited.
Yeah. Walk into a um new job or something. I'm like, I'm Mike, nervous. Yeah.
Like there is.
Yes. I also have a narration going on all the time too.
Yeah,
Uh-huh. I carry a recorder with me and it just plays.
it just like records your thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I play them back later. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. I'm in the middle of grocery shopping and all of a sudden it's like, I'm really nervous to talk to this girl. Like, what?
Yeah. Well, wow.
Okay. So, I'm avoiding talking about the movie. Anyway, so
Yeah, it's just
yeah, there's not a
painful.
lot we can really say about this movie in certain ways. Anyway, so the basic premise of this movie, which is supposedly based on true story of Matthew Buckley growing up in the 80s, even though the movie aesthetic is like really hit or miss when it comes to representing the 80s.
Oh yeah, they mentioned it at one point about the new Coke, but other than that, I'm like, I don't really
And
see
it's like
much.
their clothing is attempting to look 80s sometimes,
Sort of,
and
yeah.
like the hairstyle of some of the girls and stuff.
Mainly the girls only though.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like but like your main cast of the Buckley boys here don't really look like they're from the 80s. Their
yeah.
clothing and everything.
The
Um
mom, sort
I
of.
mean, I know it's a low budget and the further you go back in time the harder it is to replicate it. Um
Right.
even you wouldn't think it. I mean, even if we were to make a movie right now that took place 20 years ago, it'd still be kind of hard to capture everything. But think about something that happened, 30 years ago or 40 years
Yeah,
ago or whatever,
exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like a little
And you
harder.
got the right clothes, or at least design new clothes that look like, the old stuff or whatever, and all that stuff, scenery, and make sure that you don't get brand new cars driving by. Yeah, the whole
Yeah,
like
which they did
litany
at
of stuff.
times. They did have some like there was like a mail truck in the background of one scene or a UPS truck or something I saw at one point that looked
Oh,
modern.
really?
Yeah, and there's like modern products here and there that they're using. I'm like, like groceries and whatnot. So I'm just like, okay,
Yeah,
but it is what it is.
it happens. Yeah.
Um, the the budget of the film. I did have it earlier, but I'll look it up and I'll find out what the budget was later. But anyways, so basically, what we got going on here in the film is it's being narrated by Matthew Buckley as an adult. He, much like Ralphie Parker in Christmas Story, telling the story of when he was a kid around Christmas time. And sometimes he has fantasies.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Ralphie Parker.
Yep.
Okay. The thing we got added here is that we've got a whole big bunch of Buckley boys. We've got 4 of them total. They're doing all their normal, boys will be boys crap. And then I'm going to try to kind of skip like the nonsense of this movie, So
yeah.
Basically things start moving when we get to the point of there's a girl neighbor that moves in named Juniper, who 2 of the boys kind of seem to have a crush for.
Yeah, both Matthew and Simon, his older brother.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all named after biblical characters.
Oh,
I noticed. There's Matthew and there's Simon and there's Peter.
Oh.
And
yeah, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I noticed that as it went on. I was like, wait a second. Yeah, what was the other one? There was Matthew, Simon, Peter, and
I don't remember all. John? Was it Jonathan?
I got. Let me pull up the cast here. We got.
Okay.
Yeah, John.
Okay.
Yeah, we got John, Simon, Matthew, Peter, and then the parents are Ralph and Pam.
Well, those aren't biblical names.
No. Oh, you don't remember the Book of Ralph?
No, I don't. It's one of those apocrypha books.
Yes.
The ones that you could sort of read but aren't really officially part of the Bible.
Only Mormons read it. It's one of it's one of Joseph Smith's chapters.
The Book of Ralph. Sorry.
No,
wow.
Does not exist.
No, it doesn't.
Neither does the Book of Pam.
No, that's well, it does, but that was he actually invented the Pam spray.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's just a book that gives you recipes on how to cook with the Pam.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's just a book of recipes. And, sorry, I don't mean to be offensive to Mormons here.
No, we're not making fun of Mormons. We're just making fun of the fact that their names are Ralph and Pam.
Yeah. I think the teacher, wasn't her name Mary or something? And then
there was a Mary was is the baby.
Oh,
at the end, yeah, the girl.
Oh,
baby,
okay.
Mary Buckley. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got this girl Juniper. She is the neighbor who they have a crush on. She has a
neighbor.
Yeah, she has a brother. His name.
Oh, I forgot his name. Shoot.
Yeah, I'm blanking on it. I'm trying to look
Bob?
Here.
It wasn't Bob, was it?
Let me
Paul?
Let me look up the cast here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to remember all these characters' names. Was it Bob?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so. Let me look here.
No problem.
Alan.
Alan, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we got Juniper, Alan, and then Monica is the older sister.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was God, I couldn't remember any of these people's names.
Who did not look that much older to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a casting issue, and they just found someone who was best for that particular role or whatever. Yeah, there's really not much to say about this movie, is there? I mean, there's really not a whole lot.
Yeah, so basically that happens, and then at the school, we've got a character of the family Hagbart. You got Finn, Phoebe, Faye, And then they have a little sister named Francie. All F names.
Yeah, weird.
Mm-hmm. They, oh yeah, by the way, the narrator of this film was Michael Buster, the director.
Oh, okay.
He played the adult Matthew.
Okay.
Why they didn't have the real Matthew just do it, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Because
maybe
he's
he thought
still
that was
alive. Or maybe he just doesn't like to narrate, you know.
Yeah, I mean it's possible.
Or this was some kind of nepotism thing.
Yeah, maybe. No.
No. Yeah, we got so basically the Hagbarts are kind of bullies.
Yeah.
They
Except for the little sister.
Yeah, we don't really see her at the school, so but the two girls and Finn especially are bullies to the Buckleys, who they call the Duckleys.
Oh man, that's a real insult there.
Yep. I remember in grade school something like that would be actually, so
Like, yeah, I called you Duckley, man. What are you gonna do?
yeah.
Nothing. Just because
I mean, now something like that wouldn't bother people, but you remember when we were a kid, if somebody called you a weird name, you'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go cry in my pillow now."
Yeah. Yeah, they're bullies, and then it turns out it's because they're poor, and therefore all of their actions are excusable according to the movie.
Yeah,
Anyway,
which is ridiculous.
yeah.
Which brings into I in the future, not necessarily this year, but there is a sequel to this movie which I gotta find.
Oh God.
I did find it online actually. Called A Christmas Project Reunion. Or The Christmas Project Reunion.
Oh, I saw that. I thought that was just them
No, it's
doing,
an
like,
actual movie. It's a
okay.
sequel.
I thought it was just like an interview or something.
No,
Wow.
That's what I thought at first, but
That would have been better actually.
that
just
came
to
out
them
in
talk about-
2020, like 4 years later.
Okay. All right. And because technically they get married by the end. I mean, I'm kind of skipping around here, but
yeah, Juniper, but that's like 15 years later.
that's it. That's 15 years later. Yeah. So I don't know if the movie takes place in the future or if it's just
yeah, no, this is 4 years later in the timeline too.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I know we're skipping ahead here, but the basic premise of that one is an awkward high school boy is forced to break out of his shell when his elementary school nemesis moves back into town and tries to steal his girlfriend.
Okay.
So the Hagbarts move back into town and Finn tries to steal Juniper.
Wait, but they weren't a nemesis by the end of the movie. Anyway,
exactly.
All right,
that's why I'm like, what the fuck?
Maybe it's a new character. Maybe it's someone else.
No, it's him.
What makes no sense? Or maybe it's the people at the end who moved in because they became bullies.
No. I looked it up.
Well, why would they do that? That's stupid. It's okay. Whatever. Fine.
It disregards the thing, and then it looks like they got a little bit of a I don't know, bigger budget for the second one. It still looks the same, but you have Daniel Baldwin, as in Alec Baldwin's brother.
Okay.
Corbin Burnson, who was on Psych and L.A. Law and stuff like that, and Brian Bosworth, the former football player and actor and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Are all in the movie. Like they actually have like quote unquote name actors in it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, whatever. So you just gotta ignore the canon of this great, franchise. The Christmas Project franchise.
It's funny, according to IMDb. I mean, I'm sure his name's on there somewhere, but like, I don't know if it's based on any of the books that the first film was based on, because like Matthew Buckley's like name isn't even attached to the film anywhere.
Oh, so I wonder if there is like some fallout where
it's written by the same woman who wrote the first movie.
Oh, okay.
But his name isn't attached. So
I'm building a whole theory about that.
Yeah,
cash grab.
But I do. I mean, it's sad. I really want to see this movie though. Even though, what's that?
I don't.
I know. My thing is I really do, just because I'm curious of how bad it is. So the
Yeah, if you're gonna disregard the canon of this great franchise, I mean, we set everything up in the first movie like Star Wars. You can't just, go back on it, I mean, it's not like it's, you know, uh, how, the Last Jedi was actually really good, then they reverted back to the, the, the let's give the kids what they want kind of thing. We're not the kids. Let's
so
give the
are we
fam-
comparing the Christmas Project to
yes,
the Last Jedi?
yes, we are, because they set everything up and then they just go against the Juniper is like a stand-in for Ray, and I don't know who Luke would be, or
Yeah.
Kylo Ren. Maybe Lynn would be Kylo,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like got the
Their dog farting is
yeah,
Chewbacca.
yeah, there we go. He's kind of racist against Wookiees, but like
Oh, I'm sorry.
you know,
I don't
anyway,
want to offend any of our Wookiee listeners.
yeah, God, we're like really avoiding talking about this movie.
Yeah, but that's another thing. Their dog is named Farting.
Yeah, they named him because so now it sounds like stop farting, like
Yeah,
get it, because they were like little kids and they thought it was like
and that was
funny.
supposed to be funny, right?
It was supposed to be. I don't know why, but
Just check.
so I had a slightly different take on the movie. The plot,
Yeah.
let me just run by you really quick.
Okay.
See what your thoughts are about.
Mm-hmm.
But so I tagged it as a movie about an emotionally abusive mom who despises the gender of her male progeny and desperately wants a female child, and thinks that wearing pink and drinking everything pink will somehow facilitate that. And then you have
You mean that's not
a
scientifically proven?
no, and you have a
Oh, okay.
weak-willed a husband, but also an enabling husband who just allows her to be mean to the kids, except for Simon, who she for some reason thinks is better than all of them, so she treats him with favoritism. And then so then the dad enables her behavior, but then he typical as like a relationship, then he goes and then apologizes to his children for enabling their mother to be mean to them, and therefore he thinks that he could sort of absolve himself from sin by doing so. So we got that dynamic going on, and then anyway, so and then to further punish her male children that she hates so much, is that she makes them quote go elving, which is where you give gifts or cookies or whatever to a like basically a poor family, and it happens to be the bully. So insult the injury, literally, because he gets beat up quite a bit in this movie by this bully.
Yeah.
He has to give him cookies as a reward for abusing him. So so we have that's the maternal main character there. I don't know what your thoughts are on my my perspective, but
My perspective is that this movie teaches the lesson that bullies are okay,
yeah,
and
as long as they're poor, as long as they're
as
poor,
long
it's
as they're
okay.
poor,
Yeah.
and
It also teaches the lessons that if you are poor, then you are likely to be a bully. So
yeah,
we got two great messages right there.
yes,
Yeah,
this gives great lessons.
because all the good kids just happen to be with families that have lots of money.
Yeah,
Just so happens, But that's accidental.
that's the other thing in the sequel, from what I've read.
Oh yeah.
The Hagbarts become rich.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
So what? Papa Hadrick's somehow struck it rich, strike it rich.
he invented a. I watched the trailer, and
Okay.
he invents some kind of computer software for catalogs for Christmas time.
They never said what his dad did for work, so I guess they could just say that.
Yeah,
I mean, they looked like they literally lived in like a dilapidated house, but I wouldn't
but his dad's a
necessarily.
computer software programmer.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily get the vibe, but we never know. I mean, so maybe he was working on a big project the whole time.
Hmm.
Maybe that's why it's called the Christmas project, because I was trying to figure out how is this a project.
It's
Maybe that is
the original
project.
title of the movie was the Elving Project.
Okay,
So I think the whole point of it is this Elving thing.
I mean, it did
Is
seem like
the
the main
project.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, every night like the week of Christmas or something, they go and give these poor people stuff, and then watch them like stalkers from the bushes
Yes.
as they get all excited about a gingerbread house.
That they have to eat for dinner because they don't have any real
Yes.
food. It's like terrible.
That's totally healthy too.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's better than nothing.
I know.
I mean,
Save
yeah,
me,
it's
like Finn at one point. It's like, save me some.
I know. It's like, God, like they didn't have school lunch programs back then. It was 80s. I don't know, but
I don't know. Probably not.
I don't know.
This was
God
Reagan
damn.
era. But the
What's so weird about that, though? Okay, is like, so I understand the whole like bullied kid, he gets bullied at home, so then he becomes a bully at school to get out his frustration. But like, it's like when he's at home, it's like a completely different personality. So it's like it's not even like really like the stereotypical bully, where like there's problems at home. Like the quote problem at home is just that they're poor. Like that's it. It's not like the dad's not like abusive. Like
it's what I like to call that I learned in my screenwriting classes and through lots of diligent research over the years. It's something that I like to call bad writing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
He's not mean to his sisters at all. He's super sweet to them. Not only that, his sisters look like they're like around his age or even older. At one point, they're like, he's going to get detention. They're like, he can't stay at the school. He's got to take care of Francine. It's like, you look like you're older than he is. Why can't you take care of Francine?
The thing is, they're all in the same class, too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, were they triplets?
Maybe.
They didn't explain that. Yeah, because they look like they're roughly the same age.
But why is he the only one that can take care of her if they're the same age?
Yeah, I mean it's very weird. I know that sometimes girls tend to mature a little bit faster, physically than boys, but like they really did not look that much older than him. So like that's my meta theory now.
They have to be. I mean, they're probably triplets. They have to be.
That's it. Yeah, and I'm calling it. That's what it is. So but for some reason it's on him again. Maybe your theory is correct. That's a Mormon-made film, or at least Mormons made it because very strict on gender roles. He's the boy, so he has to take care of their younger sibling, apparently by himself. And I don't know what the two of them just.
Yeah, but you think with the gender role thing though that they would make it that the girl had to.
Well, yeah, but since he's like a protector role, I don't know, whatever. Yeah. And then, you're right though. It could have. Maybe that was the one gender stereotype they didn't want to go for some reason, just to make him have more responsibility on his hands.
So throughout the movie, we have this kind of running gag that Alan Goodman, his name is Goodman. Anyway,
so you get it, Goodman, yeah.
He keeps saying that he's like the ping pong champion, and he's the ping king.
Oh my God.
He talks about how he went to the White House and how he is an Eagle Scout, in middle school somehow.
Which you don't get until you're like, I mean, I had a friend who was an Eagle Scout. He didn't get it until he was like 18, whatever.
Exactly.
And then,
most people are like that age when that happens.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so he just, made up all these things to try to make.
So he's a compulsive liar, so we got a compulsive liar character in the movie.
He's also a thief.
He's a thief, as well, so it's interesting.
But he's somehow a better person than the bully.
Yeah, he is. And you got Juniper, who, like you said, Simon and Matthew both have a crush on.
Yeah.
And her sister, was her Monica?
Yeah, Monica.
Yeah, so Matthew kind of sort of pretends to be Alan's friend at first, just so he can be in a house with Juniper, which is, how's that going to work out? But whatever. And then, but he actually becomes his friend for real anyway. And then, he sucks at ping pong. Matthew beats him like 21-1. And then they just call it a game at that point because it's like, there's no way you're coming back from that. And then, they have this weird scene where Monica's supposed to be like, I guess, gothic. I don't know what they were going for. Like she gives them milk, but like there's like skulls on the milk.
Yeah, which are completely modern glasses that would not have been made in the 80s.
Yeah, and she says she doesn't believe in sugar, which I don't know what that means. You don't believe in. like sugar exists. So like, say you don't believe it's something that exists doesn't really make any sense. Like you could say,
it
I don't
does.
like sugar, I don't think it's good for you, but to say you don't believe in sugar doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
What about high fructose corn syrup?
Well, that exists too.
I was just checking because I'm drinking a Pepsi at the moment, and I was just
Okay,
making
well
sure
that exists.
that it actually
Yes.
exists. Okay.
Yeah, that's so that's bad writing. They could have wrote that I think sugar's bad for you. Not, I don't believe in sugar, but whatever. I'm nitpicking.
But that's
But
just something people will say. It's like, oh,
it is.
I
It
don't.
is. I'm just nitpicking on purpose because I'm really pissed off at this movie. But
Like,
anyway,
I don't believe in marriage. That doesn't mean you don't believe marriage exists. That just
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So she gets like these really nasty cookies that
Mhm.
she made. Simon, yeah, Simon comes over
Mhm.
when he finds out that Matthew's playing table tennis with Alan, who's a compulsive liar, and his lies become revealed every second of the day as he gets caught in one after the other after the other after the other, and never thinks to realize, hey, I'm not a good liar because I can't keep up. Anyway, so Simon's up there trying to woo Juniper because he's finally hitting puberty. Even though he's the oldest, he somehow got puberty the last. I'm not sure why, but anyway, and which is kind of weird because like he's got to be at least a year older at the very least. I mean,
Oh, maybe or 9 months or something.
well, whatever, but still, I mean that'd be
Could be one of those like Irish
really,
twins sort of things.
I hate that's such a racist term.
I know.
I hear it all the time though, but it's like wow. But anyway,
I feel okay saying it because I'm Irish, but still, yeah.
Well, you could say it, yeah, but but
it doesn't
one of
mean
those
it's
things.
right.
You could say it because you're part Irish, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like it's not as bad though as Christmas Story 2 when Ralphie literally said there's more rattles in this house than an Irish what was it, orphanage or something like that,
Yeah.
or I'm like wow, like damn.
I didn't even remember that, but yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that was wild. And yeah, so she gets them these nasty ass cookies that are like hard as rocks basically, and Juniper tells him to like basically just like chug milk after eating. Well, I forgot to mention that. So he's lactose intolerant, and they made a big thing about that, where he's the only one that gets to drink orange juice in the family for some reason. Okay, whatever. And then I guess because of the sugar issue or whatever. So
yeah.
he wasn't really paying attention.
The whole almond milk craze and everything, So yeah.
It was the 80s, yeah, and so he's not really paying attention, so he drinks the milk, and he starts eventually, the milk starts hitting him, and then he's like, oh, he's trying to like impress Juniper and stuff, and he's like sweating crap, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, and then so he has to go throw up or take a shit or whatever, and then yeah, then that happens. That was the whole scene. That was it. There's really nothing.
And that was supposed to be funny somehow.
It was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a gag, a literal gag, I guess.
Yeah.
But and they go home, and gets bullied some more by Flynn. Because every single day it's a new thing with him. And then Mama makes them go give him cookies afterwards. Like, oh, make sure you be nice to your bully. I mean, she doesn't really know.
Well, she doesn't know because they're hiding the fact that they're bullies.
They got this snitch policy, which doesn't
makes
really make
no
a lot of
sense. Makes
no
sense.
It was like, okay, like I don't really understand your family dynamic here, but whatever. And then
yeah, like where did this policy come from? Did the four boys decide on this one day, or did their parents tell them that they don't snitch, or what?
It's one thing to not snitch on each other, like because brothers, but like a bully, like why would you keep that policy for that person? Whatever. And then maybe it was like
which really worries me because if one of those kids gets molested,
yeah, well, that got really dark.
But, I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I can't say anything because I'm not allowed to snitch. No.
Hey. That is kind of a culture if you kind of if you establish that as your thing, that can kind of go into darker territories, which you brought up. But
it's like oh, this kid at school killed somebody. I can't tell anybody though.
You can't snitch. We don't snitch in this family. So we got literal bodies buried in the backyard. So there's this whole other thing I forgot to mention is that like the dad of them built like this pirate ship treehouse thing.
Yeah,
that's like a big part of the movie for some reason. Again, that doesn't really make any sense why, but
and it's huge.
It's just, yeah, exactly. How did they even build this? Whatever. And
And it's
then
supposedly hidden somewhere that nobody can find.
it's,
But
yeah, it's like,
somehow the Hagbarts found it because Matthew took Juniper to it. I
but
don't
why
get
would
how
they
that
know?
like when she was there, is there some kind of like bat signal that kind of like goes up in the air to tell you where it is? Like how does it have does Juniper have GPS, or is it Juniper PS? It's like what
She might, because her parents are always away for work. Maybe they're doing like really important tech work, in the 80s, to get GPS, up and running, So
and we know from the sequel that the Hagbart's dad is like a computer genius.
maybe
So
they moved in town because they were colleagues of Mr. Haggard, and they were like, we're gonna build something really great together. So we gotta need to like be in close proximity to each other so we could bounce off
and this is
ideas. This is
during the
before Zoom.
height of the Cold War, so maybe they're Russian spies.
That could be it too, actually. I
Mhm.
never thought about that. So they have this weird rule where girls can't be in the pirate ship because it's a boys' club. And then somehow
Yeah,
the one time he brings Juniper there, that's when the Haggards somehow know about this rule, which I don't know why they would. And it like mentions something about like being like a traitor. Well, why would they know about this rule? They were never invited to the ship. So were they planting bugs inside the house to like listen in on their conversations? It's getting really wild here, And
but they still couldn't figure out who was leaving them these Elvian gifts.
no, well that was the one blind spot. But
Yes.
it, who knows? And then like you mentioned too, there's a whole scene where they bought chickens as a punishment for some reason. Oh, because I forgot the very first scene where they're painting their sleds.
Yeah.
That's how this whole thing starts. So the mom's going to the store or something, and they're like, "Don't get paint on your new pants." And then the little brother just drops the paintbrush in the paint, and then some of it splatters on the Matthew's pants. It's like, oh shit, we gotta go in the house now and clean it off. But then Simon locked him in because he's an asshole. And locked him out rather. And then he's eating pizza, and he won't share the pizza with his own brothers, including his youngest brother, who's like 8. And then
Hmm.
but then he becomes a traitor, and then for a slice of pizza he betrays Matthew. So he's like the Judas of the family, basically.
Yes.
Instead of 16 pieces of silver, with just one piece of pizza, and
Yeah. I
or
mean,
16 pieces of pepperoni, maybe, I don't know. And then
it's pizza, man. I mean, come on.
yeah, I mean it's pizza, yeah. So so and then Flynn steals their sled at one point, I guess, and
Yeah.
paints it blue for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I'm really jumping around here.
Yeah.
There's so much stupid shit going on. It's not even important.
There's no good through line in this movie. There is a
There
kind of
isn't. It's just
underlying,
random.
and there's
Yeah.
like random scenes, sort of. I guess that's kind of what I didn't like about A Christmas Story as well, because it's very similar.
Yeah, it's just like random scenes that are supposed to be like somehow about the house. Because at one point they go to like a school event and
Yeah.
they're bobbing for apples, but they're not supposed to eat any candy. And so that happens for no apparent reason. And then they make the little brother do it, and he falls in, and so they're drying him off with toilet paper.
Yeah, they're
And they
not
were
supposed
supposed
to
to
be
boil.
eating candy, but then there's a scene where Monica, their neighbor, who I'm assuming is a 16 or something, because she can drive.
Wait, because she could drive, yeah.
Yeah,
And
she takes them out elving one night because the mom can't because she's pregnant and whatnot, and
oh yeah,
so she just like hands them a bunch of modern day Nestle Crunch bars in 1986.
yeah. What the hell is that all about? And then
Yeah, the wrappers on the candy bars, that just really bothered me.
well, I mean that's a hard thing to replicate. I mean, um,
Not really, because all you got to
well, I
do
guess.
is because they didn't even show the front of the bars. You could
Oh,
just show the
okay.
back, and the main thing that sets 1986 bars from modern bars apart.
Mm,
1986 bars were wrapped in foil.
right.
So what you do is you go to the Walmart, buy some foil, take the bar out, wrap it, and then just cut the ends of the wrapper and put it over it.
Right. Why did they stop doing that? Because of like health reasons or something? Or
Probably money.
Okay, I didn't know if it was because tinfoil was like bad for you, or if
I don't
it
know. It
was.
could have been that too because it was a lot easier to. It would probably be a lot easier to get inside the bars, but I don't know.
Yeah,
So
probably. Well, no. So that's the other thing too. Your theory about the Russian spies, though. For some reason, they have a black van, a huge van, and they only have like a family of 4 people, ostensibly. So why would they have this big ass black van that just looked very suspicious? Like that's maybe that's where they kidnap like U.S. politicians or something, or maybe they
yes,
or Russian expatriates, to send it back to the motherland.
they
That's
were
my
they,
theory
they, they were
because.
moving to Utah to try to, um, somehow capture President Reagan.
So my theory is that actually because both Mr. Haggard and Juniper and Monica's parents
Hagbart.
always
Yeah,
oh,
that's
yeah,
okay.
sorry. They're never home ever. They're
No.
always at work. And so they just leave their children just unattended. Again, these are minors, right? And no babysitter. I mean, it was the '80s, so I guess maybe that's a little bit of a time thing too.
Well,
If they got
they
accurate.
did have Monica babysit them from time to time. So, and she's
Yeah,
like
but
16, and back when I was a kid, like I used to babysit my sister, and she was,
Yeah, but
yeah,
still, you
yeah.
still need an adult for some things. It's not, especially if something really bad happens.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really put that on a child. But whatever, that's no matter. And then that's again, maybe religious people they think that, but whatever that
They just
you
couldn't
can.
afford actors to play the parents.
I don't think so. That's what it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
And then so they're just gone all the time. But my theory is that they were working with Mister. What's their last name again?
Hagbart.
Hagbart. All right,
Yeah.
Mister Hagbart. And them were working on the project together, and they were like always working like all hours of the day, especially at night, because that's where they can do their more dirty work. When they're kidnapping U.S. politicians and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
throwing them in the river and all that kind of stuff. And that's what they use the black van for occasionally, But then they leave it there, for the kids to use if they need it to. And and then yeah, and that's what happens. They,
This is a better
they
movie than what you're.
Yeah, what I'm coming up with is better. Yeah, it's much better actually. It's a much better Christmassy movie. And then other than elving, weird phrase, elving. Like who came up with that phrase? We're gonna go elving tonight. So elves, do they traditionally bring gifts to people on Christmas? Because I thought that was Santa Claus.
Yeah,
Or
they make
so,
them. Santa delivers.
yeah,
It's like,
elves make.
yeah.
So are we going into like old school pagan elves? Because
Mm-hmm.
that would be weird for like a Christian movie to be doing that, but whatever. And then I think they were just trying to do something cool and neat that didn't make any sense. But you mentioned though earlier too about how they bought chickens as punishment for the kids acting up. And they have to clean up the chicken's poop for some reason, and
Yeah.
I don't know. And then but then the dad ends up
The
killing.
one kid,
Yeah, the youngest one, I
uh,
think.
it has basically taken the one chicken as his pet. So Rosie, yeah.
Rosie, they named her Rosie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so for Christmas dinner, they've got all their veggies and sides and all that stuff, and then first before that happens, when he says something like, "Oh, anybody seen Rosie?"
Hmm.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, me too.
And then they serve a chicken for dinner, and everybody realizes that the chicken is Rosie. And he tries to convince his kids to eat their pet.
That was a disturbing monologue. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they end up just burying the chicken platter and all in the front yard or something.
They buried it literally. I don't know why they had to bury the pot. Why they couldn't just bury the chicken.
Yeah.
I don't get that, but whatever. And it makes no sense. But whatever.
Oh, it's because then you can have that narration from adult Matthew saying, "And Mom's favorite platter is still buried under the ground to this day,"
which is stupid. It's not even
Yeah.
funny.
No.
But what got me though was like, so he was asking if this is a store-bought chicken. So it's like, wait, so it's okay to eat a chicken that you don't know, but it's bad if it's Rosie? Like, oh wow, like I'm gonna save some of you, but some of you are going to the slaughter. Like that's kind of weird, but whatever. very cognitive dissonance right there. But
Well, it kind of makes sense. I've known people that go through the same thing when they live on a farm. But yeah,
yeah, it's
it's
just it go all the way or go no other way. That's for me, not my idea. But like,
yeah. But this is a
don't be like a
kid.
vegetarian for your
Yeah,
pets. But then
yeah,
I could eat up a storm with any other kind of animal. It
yeah,
just doesn't make whatever. I understand emotional, but
yeah.
that actually could be a good way to actually sort of make people vegetarians, is where you actually have to like form an emotional bond with an animal. You're probably not going to eat it, because it's like your friend, and then but yeah, but Dad over here doesn't believe in that. No, Dad's little lecture slash motivational speech or whatever, he literally says that Rosie would want them to eat her and to find the best part of her to eat. Hmm. Yeah.
That
What? Uh,
I had that same story told to me when me and my soccer team's plane crashed in the mountains at one time, and then we had to start eating each. Oh wait,
Wait, that was a different movie, wasn't it?
yeah,
What was it called?
I don't even remember, but yeah, it was a true story too. So yeah,
Oh, was it a soccer team? I didn't know that.
yeah. And then and
God,
then then
oh,
there then there's like also like the TV show Yellow Jackets has something similar too. I mean, I don't know about the eating thing, but like about a plane crash with a soccer team. But these are
oh,
girls, so
jeez.
yeah. But
Mm.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, I forgot the name of that movie, but I remember
hmm
seeing it. So yeah, so Dad is unsuccessful in trying to convince them to eat Rosie and claim that she would want them to eat her, which I don't think is remotely true. Again, like you mentioned about the no thorough line, that's why it's so hard to talk about, because it's just random scenes that don't really connect to each other, and there's a lot of them, so it's kind of hard to talk about the actual movie, because if we did, it'd only be like a 5-minute podcast, because pretty much it's just bullies bad because he's poor, but at the same time you should just let him bully you because he's poor, and then
oh yeah, the name of that
eventually.
movie was Alive, by the way. I had to
That's what
look
it
it up.
was. Yeah,
Yeah,
live. And then you got the bus driver who's like sort of like this peacemaker dude who's like always trying to get them to stop fighting each other because he
yeah,
was in Vietnam. And
he's what I'm not trying to be racist here, but he's your magical Negro.
yeah, oh, I didn't even make that connection.
Yes,
Yeah, he is. He literally is.
that's the filmmaking term. It's magical Negro, and
Yeah,
usually
he didn't invent it. That's
you've got
long standing.
usually an older
Yeah.
African American man. You got your Bagger Vances, and your
Hmm.
and like the like Charles S. Dutton's character in Rudy. People like
Yes.
that who are these all wise, knowing older black gentlemen. Yeah,
Who usually have like a blue collar job.
yeah.
Like in Rudy, he was like part of
Mm-hmm.
the
The
field, like,
the
the
man the like field crew or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't know the name of it. And then this guy's, bus driver, which is, I mean, they
yeah.
make good money, but it's kind of a blue collar job. And
And he's the only African American character in this whole movie.
in the entire movie, yeah,
Yes,
literally nobody else. And again, this
and his
movie
name
was
is
made,
Earl, not
well, that was a TV
Jason Lee.
show,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
And this movie was made in 2016,
Yeah.
so not that long ago. And and he's like, Vietnam vet, and he's like, didn't really want to fight, so he's like, now he's like a peacemaker, and
Yeah.
he's always trying to get Flynn from. Because at one point he says something to Flynn, you can't shake a hand with a closed fist or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
trying to help Finn, but he's also very close to Matthew. So,
he's telling him to like forgive basically Flynn or
yeah.
whatever, or tell some weird story that I doubt is even true, because like it's one of those mythological stories that you hear all the time. Like, on Christmas morning, both sides put down their weapons to celebrate Christmas together, and then we even exchanged gifts with each other. And it's like, okay, but then the next day you picked up your guns and killed each other. Like, what? Like,
And then
okay.
you
It's
ate
like,
your pet chickens.
then you ate or maybe you ate the dead wounded, or I don't know. Well, I mean, it's like it's
Exactly.
such a it's such a weird story. I've heard it from so many different
Oh, I
wars.
know.
I doubt it's even true. Because again, it's like if you're gonna call a truce and like not harm each other on Christmas, why would you just like not just extend that for the rest of the war? You
It's like
know, like
December 26th hits, and it's like, oh, yep.
it's like midnight. Oh, we're like having a good time. We're eating like turkey together, or we hunted some animal. All right, first one to grab a
Remember
gun
that?
is
Remember that deck of cards I gave you yesterday as a gift? Oh well. Um,
now like whoever gets the gun first wins. Yeah, it's such a. Because I've heard other versions of that story too, like of Freemasons, where like again, I've heard various like World War II, even the Civil War, Vietnam. Doesn't matter what war it is, really. It's like they have like a secret hand signal or something like that, and then like the one I heard was like two dudes from Vietnam. The guy was a Vietnamese soldier, and the guy was an American soldier, and the American soldier was going to get killed, so he just last ditch effort. He just did the Freemason hand signal, and lo and behold, the Vietnamese soldier was also a Freemason in Vietnam.
yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I'm not saying there's not Masons around the world, but Vietnam, I'm not sure there's many. But okay, it's possible. But it's like, oh, I'm a Mason too. So then they both dropped each other's guns, and then they both refused to fight any further in the war. I'm assuming the Vietnamese soldier was probably executed by the government for refusing to fight, and then the American soldier was probably taken away for treason. But anyway, so good stuff. But anyway, sorry,
It's
I'm
like,
trying to make this movie sound better than it was.
oh, I know. It's like, I mean, there's been stories similar to that, like even in like Star Trek and different things like that, where it's like, oh, we get trapped together, so now we're friends, and but
We have to work together. Yeah.
yeah, but then
So,
tomorrow our captain's gonna kill your people, like.
well, no, the point of it is that by the end of it, you're supposed to actually be friends with the person, and
Yeah,
then you won't kill each other because you both
yeah.
found each other's humanity, kind of thing. It's not a bad story, but I've heard it I've heard so many I can't say the word.
Derivations. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably apocryphal. It's gotta be. But yeah, the oh boy. But
Yeah,
anyway, so yeah. What else happens in this movie? Like,
oh God, I mean, I don't know. Again, like you mentioned, it's just a bunch of scenes strewn together.
yeah. So
Uh,
I think by the end we've got this situation where so Earl basically gave a pen to Matthew that supposedly his father gave him and told him to write, instead of fight, basically.
yeah, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
That phrase. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I updated it to write instead of fight.
Oh, I like that. Or you got the Islamic version of it. The pen of the scholar is more holy than the blood of the martyr.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
you know,
And so we've got the whole. He goes and writes one night he writes a nice little letter to Finn Hagbart, about his I don't know what he wrote in it because I don't remember and I don't care.
I don't think they ever said what it
No,
was.
if they did, I don't remember it. But
Yeah.
he basically wrote him a nice letter and ended up he was gonna steal back his sled, but he ended up giving him the sled. But then later, for some reason, they give him another sled,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
which I'm like, so you know what this teaches me?
What's that?
If I steal something, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
So
There's lots of good lessons in this movie. Like
yeah.
for example,
So I'm going to go steal a car, and then on Christmas Eve, somebody's going to give me a car, right?
Yeah, I mean that's how it worked. Like
Yeah.
you punish your children with buying them chickens for some reason, and then you kill one of the chickens that's the pet, and then you talk about how the chicken would want you to eat her, especially the best parts of her, which is kind of weird and creepy. And then if you're a bully, you get to get whatever you want. And then if you're poor, that automatically means you are a bully. So no poor people are good, apparently, I guess.
Mhm.
And then only rich people or well-to-do people are good. Okay,
and,
so
and,
like
and the
we're
one
sort of
African
getting,
American guy in town is wise.
yeah, the one guy, yeah.
For
Which I
some
guess is
reason,
kind of
he's the only one in town, and I don't get.
he's the only black guy in town, literally,
Yeah. Mhm.
and he's wise. So that's almost like racist in two directions because there's only one black guy who is in town, but he's also wise, which then means what are the chances of all the other black people being wise? Because if like the whole town is white and everyone's a stupid fucking moron, and then the one black guy is wise, then why not just like repopulate the town with black people and then just have like a whole kingdom of wise men? But they didn't think about that. So and apparently they want everyone to be stupid. So kill
and just to let
chickens
you know, according to Wikipedia, the magical Negro is a trope in cinema, television, and literature. The character is typically, but not always, in some way outwardly or inwardly disabled, either by discrimination, disability, or social constraint.
See, that's what I meant about like the blue collar type jobs. Like
the Negro is often a janitor or prisoner. The character often has no past, but simply appears one day to help the white protagonist. I mean, I don't know if we do hear a little bit of his past.
A little bit of his past,
but he still he still fits the trope.
He does. I'll give him a little leeway because he wasn't like a main character in the movie, so you know what I mean. Like he's not like it's not like a Bagger Vance where he's like literally one of the main characters. Yeah. So it does fit the trope, but like not to the point of like making it all about him helping the white kid, But he still does fit it. I think.
And it's they usually have some sort of magical power, right? Rather vaguely defined, but not the sort of thing one typically encounters. So basically, like with him, it's his kind of like kindness and being able to calm down kids.
And his wisdom and all that.
The character is patient and wise, often dispensing various words of wisdom, and is closer to the earth, whatever that means. The character will also do almost anything, including sacrificing themselves to save the white protagonist, as exemplified in the Defiant Ones, in which Sidney Poitier plays a prototypical magical Negro. So anyway.
Or also in what movie was it? The Green Mile.
Yeah, that's another one they bring up.
He's literally innocent. Everybody knows he's innocent, and they still execute him. It's like, what?
like, you got like Uncle Remus in the Song of the South, which is like big racist film, anyways. But you got
I never seen that one. Never saw that one.
It's out of print and been banned by Disney.
Oh wow!
So it was the basis for Splash Mountain. At Disney.
Okay.
Which they are now finally, redoing as a Princess and the Frog ride.
That's right. I remember people going, "Oh, Disney's gone woke. They're getting rid of Splash Mountain, all my childhood memories, and I'll destroy." I love that. How was your childhood? You bring this up all the time, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm actually crediting you here, but like, so I'm not trying to take credit here,
cool.
but like, I always like, how was your childhood ruined by something that happened in the future when you're an adult? Like,
it's not.
Is there a time machine going on where it actually goes back into your childhood and then it does something to you? Like how, like what? Like,
the funny thing is these are the same people who will say separate the art from the artist.
Right, exactly. Whatever they're defending the right winger, it's somehow it's always.
So it's like I'm or somebody that did something despicable. It's like I'm still supposed to be able to, watch American Beauty and not be upset that Kevin Spacey's in it. Which I can do. I'm fine with that sometimes, but it's just it's still in the back of my mind the whole time I'm watching it. But
it's kind of because like there's certain. It depends too on how bad the stuff they did was as well, and and lied about it or persisted, and all this kind of shit. And but like I remember that they're like, "Oh man, they're taking my childhood's ruined." How is it ruined? You got to go on Splash Mountain and enjoy all the racism when you were a kid. So why is it not being racist now gonna affect the fact that it was racist back when you were a kid and you got to enjoy the racism? Which you shouldn't enjoy, but if you want to enjoy racism, you have a nice fun memory, I guess, to go back on of enjoying racism. I mean, personally, me, I don't really think racism should be enjoyed, but if you're the type of person who wants that, I guess you can do that. But like, I would prefer, maybe you take a different path, but that, hey, I'm just a magical Caucasian here. So,
more slightly modern magical Negro type characters are Morpheus in the Matrix trilogy.
I guess.
Well, that's according to Wikipedia. I was just saying, as well as the Oracle in those movies. We also
I
have
guess.
like you said John Coffey in The Green Mile, and to a point Rufus in Dogma.
Dogma.
Chris Rock's
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Wikipedia says that, but I don't know.
I know. I'm just saying that to a point. I'm not saying that they're all. There's nothing cookie cutter about any of these. So
yeah,
some aspects of those characters are.
yeah, I guess yeah, because with Morphe it's a little bit more
Well,
complex.
it's like
the leader of the group, and
Bubba in Forrest Gump is definitely one.
oh yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, something like that. Those are more kind of modern, like in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So we've got also you've got like by proxy, even though the character wasn't that in the book, but you've got like Red in Shawshank Redemption.
I didn't even know that was based on the book.
Yeah, it's based on a Stephen King novel.
Okay.
Yeah, but Red, because in the book he's white, so
okay.
That's why he's named Red. He's Irish in the book. He's a redheaded Irish guy. Yeah. So anyways,
Malcolm X was called Red because he had red hair. Yeah. But but yeah. And interesting, Morgan Freeman actually played Malcolm X in one of the first movies about Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, we get the. Let's go back to
the. Off a tangent here. I'm sorry.
But let's go back to the Christmas project here. So we got that stuff going on. But anyways, we do have at the end. He writes this letter, gives it to Finn. He later on, their dad gets transferred out of town or something, and they're going to live with their grandmother or something. And so on Christmas Day, they have like their little like shake hands, cool, things are good, blah blah blah.
Right.
We learned that 15 years from then, Juniper and Matthew are going to get married. In the narration, and then these other bullies move in next door at the end.
Oh, I like that how they both had red hair, so that's like another racism thing right there. Like, oh, get it? They got red hair, so they must be, Irish or Scottish, so they're gonna be like, super like violent.
It was like double the redheaded kid in that Scott Farkas or whatever from.
Yeah. It's like you guys, you don't even know your own biases, like and then what a movie, man! Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that movie. Do you want to hear some trivia here?
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. So with trivia,
don't hit me.
Brian Clark, who plays Ralph, and Allison Aiken Clark, who plays Pam, are married in real life.
Oh, so cute.
It was originally entitled The Elving Project. Almost all of the cast was previously in Saturday's Warrior 2016. They both came out the same year. So,
okay.
That one actually had a decent movie theater release too. Normally don't do this, but this movie I needed to look at the goofs that they list on IMDb here.
Okay.
Anachronisms. The clothing, slang, hairstyles are from the present time, 2015, 2016. However, this movie takes place in 1986. So, while Monica stops the van to pick up Matthew after Finn hanging up his underwear on the map, a modern-day UPS van can be seen driving by where the van stops. Matthew and Alan are playing ping pong. This movie takes place in 1986. Ping pong tables did not come out until 1988.
Oh.
So, at least not commercially. The posters in the Buckley boys' room are modern-day posters. The school has modern decorations for Christmas. While Pete and John have to stay in the van while elving, Monica hands them crunch candy bars The wrappers of the bars have the modern day logo. I guess you can see the logo for a moment. Yeah, that's, you know, as far as those issues go. There's a lot more goofs in the movie. There's more goofs in this than there is in the Goofy movie. Oh, I'm bad.
Wow.
The do you want to hear some reviews here really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want a bad or a good one first? I'll let you pick.
Let's do a good one
A
first.
good one? Okay. Let's find okay, 10 out of 10. Such an amazing and cute movie for the family! Exclamation point. From K. Gustafa 70552. Not to be confused with K. Gustafa 70551. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
This
Who
was
clearly had the idea first, but
yes.
you know.
Or all the other, 70,550 some before. Anyway,
Yeah.
so this is one of my favorite Christmas movies to watch every year. Now, mind you, this review was written in 2020, so they could have watched it like 4 times if they're watching it every year.
Wow.
But it's one of their favorite Christmas movies to watch every year.
Okay.
The kids do an amazing job with their acting. It is perfect to the time. Is it perfect to the time period? No. But they make up with it in the storyline and the humor. I love it more than I love A Christmas Story. It is a cute story about family, doing things for others, and learning how to walk in someone else's shoes. A story of first love and growth in a young man's life. It is beautiful, and I would recommend that everyone watches this heartwarming and humorous film with their family. It brings those warm feelings of childhood Christmas back to you with the amazing story.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, what part this person had in the project. Like, were they
Right.
in the cast? Did they write it? Did they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what do they?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
Do you want a bad one?
Yeah, hit me.
Okay. Frustrating. This is from ALEKS 36085. Written the same year as the other one, in 2020. This movie justifies teaching your kids that if someone bullies you, beats you up, steals from you, and destroys your things, that you should just roll over because their home life is bad. I don't care how sad that kid's home life is. If someone beats up your kid multiple times at school, you do something about it.
Well, they don't know. That's the whole
That's
point.
the problem. That's the problem because of the no snitching.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Here's another bad one. OMG, the worst movie I've ever seen, which I don't think I'd call it that. This was written by Dylan Van in December of 2018. The entire story was boring and was extremely cringy. There are many, many problems with this movie. For starters, the bad acting. The acting in this movie was just horrible. It seriously felt like a third-grade play. Everything was just so boring and creepy. Another problem with this film was how it was supposed to look like the 1980s. They seriously did not try at all to make it look like it was in a different time period. This was one of the worst parts in the movie. All the actors make me cringe so hard. Literally everything I heard the actors say made me shake my head so hard. Ugh. That was a horrible review, by the way, I think. Anyways.
Yeah.
No constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's a lot of good reviews for it, actually, but I'm not going to read anymore. So, yeah. So, any final thoughts here?
No, I think I would not recommend this movie personally.
Yeah.
but that's just me.
I mean, the most I would do with this is maybe have it on in the background if I was
Yeah.
vacuuming and couldn't hear it.
Honestly, I would rather watch Bible Man unironically than this, because at least that is bad enough to be funny somewhat. This was just boring.
Yeah. It was pretty boring. I don't know. Anyways, I would rather watch several Christmas movies before I'd watch this one again.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather watch Jingle All the Way too.
Mm. Damn it.
Yes.
Get her done.
I'd rather watch Dennis and Menace Christmas or whatever the hell it was.
God, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways,
The
that's
classic episodes.
yeah, that's my only feelings on this. So, folks, be sure to be good to each other during the holiday season and all the rest of the year.
Do it.
Go out elving if you want to. I don't care.
Yeah, why not?
Go out bullying if you want. I don't care. Oh wait, no, you shouldn't do that. You know, steal somebody's sled because you know what'll happen on Christmas Eve? You'll get another one.
You get a new sled, yeah.
Yes.
And you don't gotta give the other one back. You just get both. So
Yep.
And you could sell one of them and maybe get some cash money. Some pocket
But if you're a
change,
good person, you will get the other one back.
Yeah, but if you're Finn, apparently you're gonna forget your lesson 4 mere years later and move back to town and then try to steal someone's girlfriend. But
and if you want us to cover the other movie, let us know. We may cover it in future episode. I may make Matt suffer through it. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I'll have to get drunk to read. No, I'm not kidding.
Get some eggnog. And anyway, so the
spiked eggnog, man. Yeah.
So, anyways, go to our TeePublic, check that out. Check out our Patreon. Check out all2real2.com. If you go on there and share it with a friend, it's kind of like elving.
It's worth their while to do it, yeah.
Yes. It's that time of year. Buy your friends a T-shirt. Also, check out our social media. And like I said, be kind to each other. And remember that we love you. And bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.